Welcome to the Old-Fashioned Three. They've been around basketball from the Big Dipper to the Greek Freak, from Russell Celtics to Curry's Warriors, from Peach Baskets to Paolo Banchero. Here are Whitey Gleason, Phantom, and Jerry Reynolds.
Yes, that was that cat, all right.
I don't know about you guys. I'm in a state of shock today because yesterday, the great Skip Bayless, we were just talking a couple days ago about the great basketball commentators. The great Skip Bayless yesterday on Twitter said, I'm paraphrasing to a degree, hey, no Sabonis tonight. LeBron goes for 40. No more fakers. Kings don't have a chance. So I assumed when I saw that, I thought, well, okay.
Done. Yeah.
Should I even watch then?
Yeah.
And I decided, what the heck, I'd give it a try. It turned out he was wrong.
Yeah, I put a sizable investment down on the Kings when I saw that, and I am feeling pretty good about it today.
How about that win? No, they were Sabonis last night, and they still.
We don't have to start that way. Come on.
Well,
were
on,
they
Jerry?
not? Yes, I'm sure they were.
Rashawn Holmes to the rescue.
Yes, Rashawn was terrific. He played like he played years ago, and the Kings, to their credit, really didn't try to play like they could. They couldn't play the same way without Sabonis. And I said, I was telling Grant this morning, we talked a little bit, and I said, they needed more from Barnes and Keegan Murray, and they got it.
Yeah.
They were more aggressive.
Yes.
They made up some of it. Of course, Fox was Fox when it counted. He was looking for his own shot more, which they needed him to do. And maybe the most important thing.
Yes.
Westbrook still plays for the Lakers.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, I thought that was a real bonus.
Well, Jared, be honest, though. He's the only other name besides LeBron that if you're looking down that lineup, down that roster, not a lot. They don't got a lot.
No, they don't. Well, and some of the ones they got, of course, a couple don't play.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah.
But Lonnie Walker, the fourth or whatever he is, I think is pretty good. He was out. And then they didn't really use Thomas Bryant.
No.
And I thought, that was kind of strange why they couldn't have figured out how to get him on the floor. He makes shots. And then
they missed the country Mamba, too. Seriously, Reeves. They missed
him
a little
yeah,
bit.
they do. I mean, because he's a ball mover on a team that's got 2 ball stoppers, including LeBron. I mean,
you got to get a little lubrication in that offense. Yeah, you
at
got to
some
move
point
it
the
along
ball,
a little bit. Yeah,
you got to throw it to somebody who might throw it to somebody else at some point.
Lubrication?
Lubrication's like the country
Lubrication
Mamba
the fourth.
Guy. Lubrication. I like the third. Lonnie Walker, the third, was a much better player.
Oh, yeah. Well, the third. I don't know what
he was
number
good.
he was. They have a lot of numbers.
I thought of you last night because I think of you all the time watching basketball, of course, and how much fun we're going to have here on the Old Fashioned 3. But you
when does that
last time-
start? When does that fun start? Yeah.
Have we started? Yeah. Last time we got together, you talked about, maybe the Kings could play more zone. And I thought they played a lot of zone last night, had a lot of success with it. But you wouldn't know because I don't believe anyone on the telecast mentioned it. I'm sorry. I was a little upset by that because I feel like, I can recognize myself, but isn't that something you should be talking about? Maybe that's just me. Shouldn't be negative after that game. But I thought, hello, this is an important thing that's going on in the game. Maybe somebody should, I don't know, mention it.
You start off every show with a rant now. He starts off last show. You start off with a rant. Tonight you start off, or today you start off with a rant. I agree.
Just me.
I probably should notice that.
I thought it was a key part of winning.
Yeah,
actually,
maybe I missed some of it, but
it really did. Obviously, Lakers had no idea how to attack it, or even if they did know how, they
very
didn't.
few NBA teams look like they've ever seen.
They don't have the shooting for it anyway. I don't think. Yeah,
it's tough to beat a zone if you're going to stand out there and dribble between your legs 4 or 5 times.
Looks good though. Looks good, Jer.
Oh,
you go back and forth, yo-yo the dribble between your legs.
Dribble.
Yeah.
Well, if it was mentioned,
baby.
I didn't hear it. Maybe I missed it. But, Coach, if you got to attack the zone from the backside, right? And NBA teams don't do this. And if you have LeBron flash into the middle, from behind the defenders, and you get him the ball at the foul line, your zone is cooked. But the Lakers just didn't do that.
Well,
they shot the ball fairly decently for them.
Yeah, they really did have a stretch where they made threes better than normal. But if you want to attack a zone, why you'd have Gabriel out there instead of Bryant, it really amazes me because he really can't pass.
You need passers.
His passer
zone,
is broke and had to heal.
His passer's broke.
His passer's broke.
I've seen a lot of guys in the league; their passers are broke. I think. Yeah.
It's like electric football. The little passer's broke.
Well, in his case, I think he's a willing passer. He just doesn't have the instincts for it, as opposed to those who
do.
Who have
the lubricators.
Yeah. He's a nice player, former King, right? It was nice to see him and Fox embrace last night. He understands his role on that team and does it fairly well. It's not a difference maker, but he helps them.
Yeah, and it's interesting how he's moved past Damian Jones. Another King.
Yeah.
Because they really signed him with the idea that he would be their center, and it just hadn't worked out for him. But like I say, I thought he would. I'm surprised too. I thought that Jones would maybe be able to play for him.
Yeah, the Kings last night, fan. I know you're a big fan of rugged rebounding.
I do like rebounding. I call them man rebounds when you get them in traffic. Rebounds in traffic are more important.
What do you say in a women's game when a woman gets a tough rebound?
Player in traffic.
Okay.
PIT. Yeah, I do say that. Yeah.
You don't say man up, do you?
I do not say that. Okay. No, I do not want to be canceled at all.
47-36 the rebound numbers last night. 14 offensive rebounds for the Kings. Only 6 for the Lakers. Defensive rebounding, a big part of playing defense.
Yeah, Murray got double digits and so did Holmes. And like they said, when Sabonis isn't out there, a lot more rebounds to get. And fortunately for the Kings, they got a large percentage of them. So Murray,
Yeah.
you got to get more out of Murray. And I think they even say more out of Murray rebounding-wise when Sabonis is playing. But obviously when he's not, it's even more important. And he stepped up. The rookie stepped up and grabbed 10.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing, too, is when you got a team like the Lakers were with no post game at all. I mean, and it really none.
Yeah.
That means they're playing around the perimeter. It means long shots.
Long rebounds.
Mm-hmm. And as Phantom wisely
Mr. Basketball.
pointed,
Yeah,
he is Mr. Basketball.
Thank
Talking
you for
about
the gloss, yeah.
the contested rebounds, and the thing I've noticed about today's game, there's not near as many contested rebounds. I think that's really one of the things that's changed as opposed to the 5-on-5 half-court game of years past where there are 5 or 6 guys.
Everybody's in position to get that rebound.
Now they're out on the spacing affects rebounding as well.
Laker fans have had it with Russell Westbrook, haven't they? And now when he play where he dribbles, and then drives, and then just loses the ball.
I think they had it. The game was it the game before, 2 games before against Philadelphia.
It was against Philly at the end.
They're down 1, and he decides, something.
Yeah,
I'm going to go 1-on-1.
Yeah,
I'm going to dribble it off my leg, kind of lose control, then still go 1-on-1. Then I'm going to go up for the layup, but I'm going to pass it over to the other corner, and it gets knocked away, and they lose the game, and no one else puts their hands on them. I mean, they'd pretty much lost it with him then. I think that's got to be a final straw kind of thing.
Yeah.
But really, what do you do? I mean, without Davis, it's not like, well, we're not going to play him. You got to play him. So what are you going to do?
But if you're him, what do? You pass it to LeBron. If you're dribbling, I fumbled the dribble. There's still like 5 seconds left. Give it to somebody else.
Well, yeah, but if I was watching that game and they zeroed in on him after the play, and he was just kind of sitting there looking, and there was nothing about his countenance that indicated he thought he'd done wrong. It wasn't like, oh boy, did I blow that?
Did you see LeBron?
He didn't even do one of these.
The way LeBron stalked off after that is like, you got to be.
But that's traditional LeBron. Now he does that after every game.
Yeah.
I mean, he just stalks. It wasn't my fault.
Well,
Aaron Rodgers.
I think LeBron should look at himself a little. I mean, I know he had great stats, but I mean his. Having to settle for 3-pointers.
Yeah.
That he just doesn't hit a high percentage.
-16 last night, Chair.
Oh, jeez, here we go.
But I mean, it's amazing how good he still is. But
Yeah.
I've always said the main thing I can tell is he has a tougher time breaking people down off the dribble in the half court, because he used to be so quick. And now he's just powerful. I mean,
very powerful.
He can bowl through them. Now in the open court, he can still do it because nobody wants to stand in there, take a charge, him going full tilt.
Yeah, it reminds me of Magic at the end of his career. He's basically a power forward.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And I know Magic had been through a lot, but still, yeah. That's what that reminds me of a little bit, Phil.
Absolutely. But again, Westbrook. I mean, it's. You're like,
he's stubborn.
I can't. He's stubborn, but I'm talking. But from the Lakers standpoint, what are they going to do? I mean, they don't have the whatever his name, Country Mamba's not out there. I mean, you're not getting the same from these other guys that you're going to. There's no continuity there. So what do? You have one commodity that you can put out there, Westbrook, and you try to play around him. Maybe maybe the guy who passed it to Westbrook on that final. Maybe he's the guy that we have to criticize.
And as Jerry has said, Westbrook actually has had a pretty good year. So
I mean, he actually has gotten better since he went to the bench, but it's still he still doesn't get it.
Nope.
I mean, it's one of those things you can see it. It's like
that.
Oh, did you see the travel last night where he got teed up for the travel where he's like
dragging his pivot foot?
It's like, I guess he was saying he was fouled. I don't know, but it was clearly a travel.
My favorite one last night.
And he had several times he could have passed out of there.
Yeah.
And didn't.
Yeah.
My favorite one last night wasn't from that game. It was from the Hawks and the Mavericks, and Luka was called for a foul, and he did the Luka, and he's running around, and then they showed it, and Luka hits the guy right on the arm, and everybody's just like throws their hands up, and it's like, if you do that, and if you complain like that on every one and then they show it and you obviously did it, then nobody can take you seriously anymore.
That's one of the things I don't like about Luka.
It's just one of the things. It's like, well, boy, he's really upset. Let's take a look at that. And he smashes him right on the arm. It's not even close. It's not even close.
I remember.
I think oh my God.
There was a game last year apparently where he got called for a foul, Luka, and he turns to the referee and says, "Why do you hate me?" And I haven't been a huge fan.
I kind of love that. That's kind of cool.
He's phenomenal.
Why do you hate me?
Why do you hate me? Oh, well. Anyway.
Well, the referee should have. I don't know, but I do.
Yeah.
I can't explain it, but I just do.
Yeah. Did
No,
you
he
see what he
cries
said
too
to
much.
the female ref last year? There was a video of this where he says, "Did you see the foul?" And I forget which one it was. She says, "Foul? What foul? What are you talking about?" And he says, "When I fell in love with you." And she's like, "That really happened." Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
Fell in love with.
You saw that? Yeah.
That's really good. Come on, give him a
Yeah,
break,
that's
Gary.
good.
That's a good
And then
one.
she was like, didn't know. She's like, she didn't know.
I mean, obviously harassment, and
She
we
should
should
have
do
been
it.
like, "You're gone. That's
No,
two,
that's
and you're
not,
gone."
that's not that bad. Come on.
No,
when
she
I
should
fall
have
in
said,
love with you.
You know, after the game. Luca. Hey.
When I fell in love, and he said it like he thought it up, and he was really clever.
That's probably they probably told me. They probably told me he had to do it. It's like fooling him with them. Hey, Luca, this is what you got to do, man.
Boy.
That's fantastic. I love that.
Here would be my advice to Kings fans, and they don't need my advice, but there's a lot of chatter now from Kings fans. I understand it, but still, it's not necessary. Kings fans are upset because they're not getting the attention from the national media, and Sabonis and Fox should both be all-stars, and they're not getting the calls, and why doesn't the national media realize that the Kings are third? And I understand that, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Let
at
the
all.
national media wallow in their ignorance. Just don't worry about it. Enjoy it.
Well, and two, I mean, the Lakers get more attention than the Denver Nuggets. Okay, so that's the way things work. I mean, New York Knicks get more attention than the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're not near as good, but they're going to cover who they're going to cover.
Yeah, well,
and I mean, LeBron is a reason that the Lakers get the attention, but he is LeBron, and so there's that. And I'm kind of with you there. I mean, I don't think they get a fair, but that's the way it is. Now, it was
Embrace
that way.
that. Yeah.
It was that way with the Kings in the early 2000s or late 99, but then it changed.
Right.
Because if you're good enough, long enough, it takes care of itself.
Yep.
To where people know what to watch. Just Memphis Grizzlies are a great point. They've been good for a while.
Really good.
And now they're finally people saying, "Oh, they're really good." And John Morant's must-see TV.
Absolutely.
So,
We used to talk about this, Phantom. There's the reality, and then there's the national media perception of a smaller market team like the Kings.
Yeah.
And the perception is always way behind the reality.
Yeah, I think
They're way.
10
They
to
don't
14
realize
days.
what's going on yet. So just
Yeah. There used
just
to
laugh
be-
at their ignorance. Don't let it bother you.
used to be back in those days. Something would happen to it would happen twice. It would happen when it happened, and it would happen 10 to 14 days later when the national media picked up on it. But I think the Kings. I think you go the other way. You asked me that last episode about their defense, and I had no answer for you. I think I'm deciding that I don't care about the defense anymore. I'm throwing all my weight behind the offense. I'm going. And the other thing is, the Kings, as you just mentioned, are third.
In the West, yeah.
The way the planets are aligning this year, I think third is a better thing. I know that you'd be third, and the two teams ahead of you would be monsters. You'd have no chance. This year, it's the Nuggets and the Grizzlies, and they're really good teams. But I think the Kings should pivot from forget play-in, forget playoffs. Let's go for it. I'm on it now. I'm on the crusade. I'm on the bandwagon. Go for the whole thing. We're going for the top, man. I'm not even getting settled. I'm not settling with the play-in. I'm not settling with the playoff team.
Play-in, yeah.
Play-in. Forget that. Forget playoffs. You're number 3 now. The way the other teams are falling by the wayside, last night a couple of them lost. Again, Dallas lost and others lost.
Pelicans lost.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there going, why not? This is the year things are going nuts. No, you can't figure out what's from one night to the next. Why not the Kings? Take all that energy that you're wasting on why people don't take you seriously, and just go. Just throw everything in. Go to the table. I say go for it this year, and I'm going Kings all the way. I am not sitting back worrying about defense or anything. Embracing offense, going Kings all the way. Yep.
This check, send that to the lab.
Why not? Why not?
Well, there's
I mean,
you don't think the players are doing that?
Well, yeah, I don't think the fans are allowing themselves to do it, Jerry. I think we're sitting there going, we got to make the play. And of course, we've had a long drought, and obviously, the first thing you look to is finally making the playoffs.
Yeah.
But this is a crazy year. This is nuts, man. I mean, the Lakers are in like 14th. The only people behind them are San Antonio and Houston.
Is that a real surprise, though?
Yeah, at that level it is. I mean, you couldn't. I don't think
when you have supposedly two of the top
the Lakers
5, 8
aren't
guys.
going to be in the play-in. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, that is a surprise. It's a crazy year. I mean, the Kings. The one thing the Kings have done, and you guys have mentioned that. I mean, injuries haven't hit them very much as they have other teams. But other than that, I mean, why not this year? It's that crazy of a year. I think
I guess for me, I can't because I'm just too shell shocked from 16 straight years. I mean, I want to see, if they get in the playoffs, I say, okay, now, whatever. But I can't worry about, whether third or sixth or eighth. I'd be happy with any of them. I mean, I know that's settling a little bit, but I know with the schedule to come,
sure,
the Kings have played, more home games than road games, even though they're doing well on the road, and several teams behind them have played a lot more road games than home games, and I know that has a way of equaling out. So I would hope the coach and the players don't pay any attention to that, and they're just going to focus on winning every game they can win and see where that takes them. But I would like to say,
why not?
I mean, it'd be Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
You're either first or last. I mean, but
I'm not saying I think they're going to win the title, Jared, but yeah.
I think there's a lot of spots in between there.
But who are you talking about needs to adopt that view? Fans?
I just think,
to Jerry's point, the players obviously and the coaches are like, we're just trying to win every game, and we'll see where we go.
I would just going along day to day, kind of watching and going, okay, let's see if we can make the playoffs. Have the play-in. Well, the play-in kind of is in the rearview mirror now, but as you say, there's a lot of season left to play.
A lot of pizza left in the box.
I just think that the realization that maybe achieving a higher rank that you didn't think would be possible a month ago, say, the way the league, the way the Western Conference is shaken out, I think it's there to take, and I didn't know if it would be there before because the teams on top, Grizzlies and Nuggets are good, but the Kings play well against them as well. So I think maybe you can achieve a little bit more than you thought you could, and why not go with it? Why not embrace that?
But do you think? I mean, in other words, you're saying that third isn't.
No, third is.
I
like third, Jerry.
I just kind of say, Lord, if they can finish third, because I don't think they're as good as the Grizzlies or the Nuggets. I'd like for them to be, but I don't believe that they are. And I'm scared to death of the Pelicans if Zion Williamson, we've heard
Ingram
of periodically, and Ingram hasn't played.
I agree.
There's a lot of ground out there that yet to be plowed.
The two reasons why can't they? There's two reasons. One is defense, and typically if you're going to win
I've discarded that already and said I'm not worrying about that.
And I know I'm not. This is
I'm
not
worrying about
flash.
defense.
The other thing is typically
I am, but you're not. Okay.
So that's covered. We got that covered.
Okay. Yeah. The other thing is I don't know if it's ever been done where a team, you miss the playoffs all these years and then you go right, do not collect go to the NBA
exception that proves the rule.
I mean, even teams like, the Warriors, they were in the playoffs, they're in the playoffs, and then they made that leap. So it's just really hard and rare, if not impossible, to make that leap. Yeah. I understand your point. If it's ever going to happen, maybe a year like this year is a year.
Yeah, I mean,
I would guess that things are going to normalize a little bit, at least a little bit during the second half.
To what you're saying, Jerry, as far as they have more road games, I mean, the fact that they have the road games in the second half of the season and the fact that they're playing so well in the first half and do have a good road record, on a smaller sample size, I mean, that's more of a positive than having all those road games in the beginning when you don't really know what you are as a team and then trying to put it together in the second half of the season. So I think it's all laying out the way that you'd want it to. I mean, they're not going to probably get the top seed. They're not going to win the NBA title, but
really,
well,
Jerry, you're backing off.
Hey,
whoa,
hey, I mean, okay. All right. I just wanted to bring some sort of semblance of order to this podcast to let you know that I'm in on that.
I was going to order a ring,
but I'm not putting. Don't put an artificial ceiling over this ball club. That's what I'm saying, Jared. Come on. I thought you'd be with me a little bit. I mean, I know you're too smart to be with me all the way, but I thought you'd be with me a little bit.
Well, he was almost.
Why not?
You could physically see him turning.
He was
away.
recoiling a little bit. Sure.
But
as long as I'm going to discount defense totally, why not embrace the whole thing?
Yeah, you could. I mean, certainly if you're just going to.
I don't got a lot of time left, Jerry. It's got to happen soon, okay?
Well, I got less time than you do.
Well, then let's work together on this.
Well, that's my whole point, I guess. I can't discount the defense altogether. I just can't.
Well, okay. Sometimes the fact that you know more, it gets in the way of enjoyment.
Well, I mean, I don't know that I know more, but I haven't seen a team really contend for a championship without maybe being the worst or near the bottom.
Again, and I'm not even sure.
If you're 11th or 12th, it's like, gee, I don't know. And they're nowhere near that.
Yeah, if they
defense,
could get to the middle, even
there you go.
11th, 12th.
A lot of room for improvement. Huh?
There is.
If they get one stop a game more, all of a sudden they're 22nd, okay?
Well, play more zone like they did last night.
Oh, they wouldn't recognize
Did they? I didn't hear any mention of that.
The other team didn't know it either.
No, they didn't. I swear, I don't think.
Why are they standing in prescribed places there? I don't understand.
Yeah, just stand in one spot and dribbling the ball. That's hard to match up with.
I tell you that between the legs, though, looks good.
I know I mentioned this to you earlier before we started. Of all your many colorful and amazing hats, that's my favorite of all your hats.
Pittsburgh Pipers.
Yeah, and then the colors also, but just Pittsburgh Pipers.
The ABA.
I forget they had a really good player on there. I don't remember who he was.
Chico Vaughn, Charlie Williams, and Art Heyman. Yeah, they had a lot of really good players. Yeah, absolutely. First champions of the ABA.
Pipers.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, didn't they start off as the Cleveland Pipers? Wasn't that?
They were Cleveland. I think in the ABL they were.
That was a different team.
Oh, different.
That was George Steinbrenner.
George Steinbrenner's team.
Yeah.
And Jerry Lucas played on it early.
I still am not sure what a piper is. Is
Not
it
really
a bagpiper
sure.
or a bird?
I don't have. I think it is a bird. I think. No, Stone doesn't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's who
nice
they
hat.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Very,
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 and
very
they were the
nice.
champions, just like the Kings.
Yeah,
okay. All right, I won't go anymore.
okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I won't go any further.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
Are you all right? I'm
Open
just
up the possibilities.
Yeah,
no,
let's go. Why
that's-
can't we?
Well, there's actually a few reasons, but we'll see. I mean,
Open up the possibilities.
It's a couple good reasons, but
Couple of good reasons,
It's amazing
yeah.
that we're even discussing.
A lot of
Remember, this
teams-
is a team. If they make the playoffs, we're talking probably a parade. If they make the
we
playoffs,
were in the last parade.
I know. Yes.
When they made the playoffs.
When they made the playoffs, yeah, and we were. That was after when they played the Jazz in '99, and then the next year they actually had a parade.
They
and
were
we
27 and 23, and actually, got in late because they had a little run at the end of the year, and then of course had the great playoff series with the Jazz, and the airport scene was just amazing, and then kept getting better, and it didn't really just win championship after championship. I would say they went, from 27-23 to I think 44 wins.
Yeah, the next
and
year
then,
was a little.
then 55 wins.
Okay, Jerry, I understand it's a process. Okay, I know what you're doing. Okay,
Okay.
I'm just enjoying it. Okay.
Yeah, well, no, you could be right. I mean, I guarantee you, I would love to be totally wrong.
Okay.
Nothing but great joy. I mean, the fact they're third, I'm wrong there because I didn't think they could be third.
Did you see the
It's
list
so
last night
shocking.
when they said last night on the telecast? I think Kyle Draper said or maybe it was Deuce said, I think it was Deuce who said it first, so that if the Pelicans lose and the Kings win, the Kings are third in the West. And I was like, oh, I should have known that, but that's incredible. Did you see the list of teams that had scored 130 or more in 5 straight games, which the Kings had? They had that streak until last night.
No, I think I saw.
And they're like that's the third longest streak, and I think was the 88 Nuggets.
Yeah.
And the 67 76ers
76ers.
were the two teams
yes.
with longer streaks. I was like, wow. I mean, this team
That's
is
some cool teams. Those are some cool teams.
Well, the Nuggets, that was the Alex English and Issel and Fat Lever and those guys, and of course Doug
Moe.
Doug Moe was kind of ahead of his time, where they didn't really try to guard you; they just tried to outscore you. Now they didn't win any championships either, but
they made it to the final. I mean, well, no, Doug Moe made it. We talked about the Pipers. That was their first. New Orleans Buccaneers is who they played in the championships with Doug Moe and Larry Brown. So
well, I'm talking about as a coach.
I know, but I'm going back in history. Okay,
yeah. I'm just going to look for someone who cares, but
yeah, that's okay.
Well, I
doesn't
do.
matter. I
I care
lots
about all
more.
that stuff.
I got more.
But the 67 76ers,
that was
Wilt
a-
freaking Chamberlain, a team that won 68 games, whatever.
Al
it was.
Greer.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're
Rarefied air.
Rarefied air.
Yeah.
That's and I mean that's the truth of it. They're a terrific offensive team.
Yeah.
And they did it last night and several nights now without the bench being very good at all. And I think that has to.
I'm a little concerned
probably
about
change.
Malik Monk, the way he's playing lately. Jim.
Yeah, he's not playing well. No, he's kind of forcing things. I think he got maybe carried away with, it was going so good for him early and thought he could,
And last night, the team that I know it's not the first time they've played him, but chance to stick it to the team.
Stick it back to your old team.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just get caught up in the whole Malik Monkness of it all.
Yeah, they need him. They need him, and he'll bounce back. I mean, shooters, I always say 50% shooters don't shoot 5 out of 10 every game. Sometimes it's 1 out of 10, and sometimes it's 9 out of 10. So you just
there
remember
you
that.
go. All right. I'm going to write some of that down there.
That should
crazy.
help.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really looking forward to tonight's TNT game, the rematch of the finals last year. The Celtics, who clearly right now, for what it's worth, are the best team in the NBA.
Okay.
Against a team that last year won it all and is still trying to figure some things out, Golden State at Boston. I am fascinated to watch this game tonight.
Yeah. I am too.
Yeah.
I won't say fascinated, but I want to watch it.
Okay.
That's why I'm going to watch it. I'm
really,
not going to watch it fascinated, but I will watch it.
And the Warriors right now are so interesting because they're trying to figure it out, and they look like they're a little bored with the regular season. And there's a word out of Golden Staters reported in The Athletic today. They say they're probably not going to make any big trades. They might improve here or there around the edges. I think if they don't make a big trade, I don't think they're going to win again. It looks to me like the Warriors are just relying on Steph Curry being like one of the greatest players we've ever seen. We're going to ride that as far as we can again this year.
Yeah, it sure sounds that way, and I think I'm with you. I think they really need to, and I think they are. I don't believe that for a second. We can't trade Kuminga and Moody, and certainly wouldn't trade Wiseman. It's like, really? Really? You would?
I think the only reason they wouldn't is because I'm not sure a lot of teams
Nobody
wants
them.
I mean, that's the other side of it is like, what can you get for those guys right now? I mean, Kuminga maybe has the most value, and it's not like people are just going to give him a lottery pick and a player for him either. So, yeah, I think that.
The asking price for all players, it seems like, and this could affect everybody at the deadline, including the Kings, it's just so high now.
The Rudy
teams
Gobert
are asking
factor.
for so much for guys that a lot of teams don't even want.
Well, it's like John Collins. They've been trying to trade him for 2 years. And, I mean, he's a good player, and you'd like to have him, but most teams don't really want his contract. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're saying, well, we got guys that aren't much different than him. Already we're paying too much.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about Atlanta yesterday and disappointments. Watching that game last night, man, they got a lot of good players on that team.
They really are.
They're like the team that
nice
any
win.
night they come out, it does seem like there's something maybe missing as far as we talk about lubricator, talk about
you
keep
talked
it going.
about it.
Well, I did because I think it's important. It's very important. But you watch them play and you're like, that's a team I could really like.
The key for them,
all kinds of talent.
Yeah, I'm with you. Pardon me. You looked at the scoring last night. Balanced scoring for them. When it's Trae Young's like, get out of my way, I'm shooting. Everything wobbles is out of whack. When they have the more balanced attack, they're a handful.
He had like 12, 15 assists or whatever. And I think that is the key. And, because defensively he's weak. But when he's a distributor, they got guys to distribute too. And, I'm like you. I mean, that's a team. Well, they went to the Eastern Finals 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Last year they struggled early, got in the playoffs and didn't do much. But that's a team that I don't think anybody'd want to play.
They're a fun watch too.
Yeah,
I mean, Collins played, like you mentioned, he played pretty well, and you could see some of the things he could do that makes teams want to have him. He doesn't do them every night, but Okongwu and Hunter and everybody, man, I just like watching that team. And Bogey's kind of, I think he's one of the guys.
Capella was back. I felt like I haven't seen him play in like 3 years.
Yeah, Murray as well. So yeah, they got a lot going for them.
I mean, you wouldn't want to. I mean, just watched them. I think their overall talent base is better than Cleveland.
Yeah.
I don't know what their first starting five is, but their overall starting. But Cleveland's a better team now.
Yeah.
And whether they'll be a better team late March, who knows?
Did you see the foul? What foul? Wouldn't I fall in love with you?
Oh, God.
I was glad to see Atlanta win that game.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Awesome.
The best thing that Duke has ever done in my. I'll
find the video because I know if I were you, I'd say that's got to be made.
Okay, it's probably Real. But speaking of Luka, you'll love this. I'm watching Colin Cowherd before I come over, and they're talking about which player would you take to build your team around if it's a 5-year window. Okay, and so Luka was like the first guy they mentioned, and Giannis was the second guy, and they're thinking about it, and they were talking about even Wembanyama or Zion, and finally settled on Joel Embiid. And I'm on your side. I'm in there going, what about Jokic? Wouldn't Jokic be a good guy to build your team around?
Yeah, he's got
never mentioned him. Never mentioned him once. And I'm remembering him on Tuesday, and I'm going, how could you not mention him? And I'm to myself, I went, maybe he's way older than those guys. And I'm like, no, but I don't think he is. So I looked it up. He's younger than Giannis, and he's younger than Embiid. Obviously, Doncic is much younger. And I'm like, why do you not even mention a guy who's going to be a 3-time MVP at the age of 28? And I'm just sitting, and they don't even talk. They go, well, there's got to be another guy. Oh yeah, Embiid. I'm like, what about Joker? I'm doing it for you. I
appreciate
never
that.
mentioned him.
You made
once.
my point a lot better than I did.
Never mentioned him once.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, if that was like ESPN where they're over, in Connecticut, I could see that. But he's in LA. I mean, Denver's right there. It's not like you don't know who Jokic is.
I think Jokic just became the Nuggets all-time leader in assists.
Yeah,
I believe.
past Alex English.
Yeah. So
Alex English, not an assist man, really.
No, really, no.
There's some sort of Jokic. I don't know, fatigue or something.
I think it's a blind spot, or it's like the first thing I thought it was, is Jokic like 35 and nobody knows about it? Because he could be if you look at him.
Well, he looks like it.
He looks like he's 35. He's like, I can't. That guy's not even going to make it 5 more years. Yeah. He's not even 28 yet.
Remember those puppet shows they used to have? He runs like one of those like marionettes sometimes.
I know. I've watched him do that the last 3 years ago. That guy's not very good, and then he's the MVP 3 years in a row.
And I mean,
it's incredible.
Too, it's like with him, as he ages, okay.
He doesn't change his body.
It doesn't change.
It
doesn't change it. His quickness and speed and all that. I mean, he's highly skilled. Yeah, still can.
So, like in video games, on quickness, he'd get a 0. Speed, he gets a 0. But in gamesmanship, he gets a 3,000.
I think he's a better defender than he was, and he actually gave Draymond Green credit. Draymond Green was making fun of him on TNT inside the NBA or something, and Jokic went to him and said, "Thanks." You're right.
Kind of woke him up a little bit.
I guess so. So good for him.
I just couldn't believe it. They never mentioned the guy once. He's going to be a 3 in a row MVP.
Or is he? Should be.
Yeah, he.
I would take Tatum over Embiid.
I would not.
Tatum was mentioned in there too. He was. It was another guy mentioned, although Joker was. But I can obviously see Tatum as well.
Okay.
Jerry, we did not do it last time, and I know that you had something ready for us. So, and if you don't have something here, it's fine. But it would be a good time here for Reynolds Rap.
Yeah,
for Jerry to just lay down some truth.
Well,
I
wish
we had some
he's been doing it all. He's been doing it all show.
Well,
this truth down.
Yeah,
truth bombs.
there's been enough truth thrown out here already.
When I fall in love with you,
I'm going to kind of temp it down here a little bit.
A little hard truth, maybe.
So the few people left watching, will know that we're trying to have some. But anyway,
they only stayed this long because they knew you were coming up.
Yeah. I was watching Denver last night, the Denver game, and and I just thought it was kind of interesting. There's David Adelman.
Oh yeah.
David Adelman was taking over for Michael Malone because he's top assistant and coaching the game.
Nice.
And obviously the son of Rick Adelman, who was just a young man kind of hanging around when he was in Sacramento, and of course later coached with Rick in Minnesota, I think, and has been okay. And then the guy that was kind of his top assistant, Ron Saunders, Flip Saunders' son, that had been a head coach. And I was thinking, there's two guys for me personally, Flip Saunders and Rick Adelman, I just thought the world of as coaches and as people. Mm-hmm. And their sons, now Ryan didn't end up very well in Minnesota, but I think he'll get another chance eventually. And there's David Adelman, who hadn't had a chance yet. But sometimes nepotism is deserved. It's kind of like Dale Earnhardt Jr.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, they can carry their own water.
Yeah.
They might have had a little foot in the door, but at some point you
still have to get it done.
You still have to get it done.
That's
about it.
You see a lot of former Kings. That's Reynolds Rap for today.
Yeah.
You see a lot of former Kings coaches. Dave Yeager, I think, is Doc's assistant.
Yeah.
Right?
Doc's top assistant.
Yeah, and you see
Elston Turner is with Minnesota again.
Yes.
Gosh.
Which really, my gosh, one of the finest assistant coaches to never get considered for anything. I'll never understand that.
Yeah. That was cool.
We were advocating for him 15 years ago to get a head coaching job.
And you'll probably never meet a nicer person.
Yeah.
I've met a nicer person, but he's a really
he's close.
Nicer?
He's close.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, to me, he's like tied.
No,
for the nicest.
There's 4 guys, and I refuse to name them because they're too nice.
Yeah.
I know he's not one of them.
Right here.
No, he's not. Who?
Huh?
Mr. Sincerity over there.
That's right. Mr. Sincerity and Mr. Basketball. My crazy theories.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for old-fashioned 3A to Z.
It is.
Yeah.
Already?
We were
just
gonna
start.
We were gonna maybe talk about some T-shirts today, but I don't think we're quite ready to talk about the T-shirts because Jerry doesn't like my design for a T-shirt. But we're working on it.
That's okay.
Well, I think you'll get it right. I mean,
Don't get down, Buster. You'll be fine.
No,
Come on, kid.
No, kid. That's right.
Jerry, look what you did.
He
to
said
him.
it was too fancy or something.
Yeah,
right?
well, he likes bare bones.
Of
No
course he
frills.
does.
No
Yeah,
frills.
yeah,
That's what we
yeah.
are. We're out here, no frills. Okay?
Now, yes, we're the old-fashioned 3. We are no frills.
No frills,
We are
yeah.
simple for simple-minded
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
We're simple-minded people.
Gotcha.
And we want
we
to.
are meatloaf and mashed potatoes, baby. That's
You
what
betcha.
we want.
See,
Yeah.
Stones thought maybe something with an OF3, so I had like O's a basketball, the F's like the stanchion holding the basket, and the 3 like and it's just like I guess. It
Are
was
you
a little
on
too-
drugs? Is that how you came up
No,
with that?
it was-
'Cause that
It's
was-
like, are we? Wait a minute. Are we doing a riddle or really?
Are we doing emojis?
Don't
Is
you
that what we're
think the Brewers logo is one of the best logos in sports? Milwaukee Brewers. It's the M and a B, and it's a baseball glove. Don't you think that's
Okay.
That doesn't
Yeah.
work for you too?
Maybe.
a lot of frills there.
I like that.
We don't
So,
like
anyway,
frills, Jerry.
All
and
right.
I.
So back to the drawing
I like
board.
the Dodgers for that way.
It's
How
the
simple.
L.A. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the logo.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You almost got. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I
going
don't
to
wanna-
be.
He
That
almost
was going
came
to be
over
trouble.
there.
Yeah, Stones, I thought you were going to jump over the
Yeah,
table here
yeah.
and smack me.
Yeah, but his headphones were still connected,
Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
got in trouble.
Old-fashioned 3 A to Z.
Okay.
We're at the letter
We're
R
R's
today.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go to what's the game we have with Jerry's comps? We're gonna have to resort to that.
Yes, we are.
We're done with the A to Z.
We haven't done that before,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
a really
looking
good
forward
game.
to
Well,
that.
That's
okay,
a great game.
I'll try to be ready when we get to that.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
we'll
Thank
let you
you.
know.
Well, I
Appreciate
think the way that's going to work is you're going to throw us a player, current or former,
and we
then
have
we have to come up with comps, and then you get to decide
Which
who did the
one?
better.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what he said. Every time we tell you the game, you like it.
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah, so
I like
that's-
that. That's a
we're
good
working
one.
on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's in the hopper. Yeah. Probably have a separate T-shirt for that.
But as
Yeah.
far as A to Z,
Yeah.
Phantom last week struggled a little bit with Q.
Q was
but
tough.
Came up
Trebling
with,
Queen.
Trebling Queen.
Trebling Queen. He's a
Yeah.
Trebling man.
So we have got a lot of guys to choose from.
Yeah, ours a lot
R
of guys
today.
to choose from. Usually, my guys come in two, columns. One, whether they're connected to Connie Hawkins or not, and secondly, whether they get buckets. And I'm going with the buckets guy this time. From the early 2000s, 6 seasons over 20 points a game, 1 All-Star appearance. Michael Redd is my guy this
Michael
time.
Redd.
Michael Redd, a second-round draft choice
Yep.
who comes out and gets 6 straight 20-point seasons. And the great thing about him, he was a scorer right before the three-point explosion hit. He never had more than 6 a game. He shot 38% on them, but he scored mostly on 2-point shots. But he would have probably benefited greatly had he come, a decade and a half later, because he was a really great shooter. But the great thing about him, he's a great shooter, plus he was left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
And my theory is that left-handed guys get free run all the time, depending on what level. If you're a left-handed kid in high school and you can shoot, you're getting 5 free shots a game because they're going to forget
Early
you're
in the game,
left-handed.
a little bit, yeah.
They're going to forget. They're going to forget. I still think, Jerry, at the professional level, I'm sure there's a couple times Chris Mullins coming down court, and the guy guarding him's like guarding the right side. Chris is going left. I guarantee
absolutely.
it.
God,
Left-handed guys always get a break.
Absolutely.
I think it's at least a couple of times a game. Anyway, Michael Redd probably benefited from that, but more so because he was a great shooter. And he made over $100 million playing basketball. And according to Wikipedia, when he got it,
That's a lot of green for Red.
Thank you so much, Luca. He made 6 years, $91 million. And the first thing he did, his dad was a minister. He bought him a church, bought him a building for his new church. So Michael Redd, tip of the cap, great scorer,
nice.
great scorer, and a good guy with the money too.
2 D's in his last name, right? I don't
Yes,
know
yeah.
the
2
way
Ds.
I don't know if he should have had any the way he played at the other end, but
Yeah, he didn't, and I'm glad I could give you so many.
Ooh, that's good.
wow.
Oh,
He
I
doesn't
got
usually-
to back. If he says that's good, I got it. Anyway,
Yeah,
Michael
they
Redd
like-
is my guy.
Yeah.
Michael Redd, very good. My guy is, if I remember everything I've heard Jerry say, I don't think he's one of Jerry's favorite people in basketball, understandably. This guy has been involved in some of the most, with some of the most iconic teams and most monumental moments in basketball. That said, if you took everything that everyone in the history of humanity has known about basketball, everything in the collective human consciousness about basketball, and you piled it up, it would still be less than this person thinks he knows about basketball. Pat Riley. The great Pat Riley, who played in, of course, the 1966 Kentucky UTEP game. He was played for the
Texas
Kentucky
Western,
team that lost that game. Also, he played on a Laker team that won 69 games in 72, which at the time was a record, 33 straight.
That's
He was on that
Still
team.
a record.
Yeah, 33 straight, still the record. Then he was the coach of the Showtime Lakers, who were a dynasty. He coached the Knicks, didn't get through to the championship there, but then he helped put together the Miami thing where they won with D-Wade and Shaq's first title after he left the Lakers and LeBron's first title. So he's been involved in a lot. He's played for a lot of great teams, helped put a lot of great teams together. Not a big fan necessarily of him, but what a great, great career and still going Pat Riley has had.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty accomplished guy to me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, really. I liked him, actually. He was
okay.
I thought he was,
I was wondering what
you know, basically very respectful. And I think maybe, you know, you can make the case that he's the greatest coach ever. I mean, there's certainly Red Auerbach or Popovich. You know, there's other guys that you could make the case for. But, I mean, he really had near championship teams with New York. And, of course,
that's the finals.
Now, I always say probably walking into the Showtime Lakers, which he did. I don't know until, to me, it's like he really proved his chops by taking bad teams or off teams in New York and Miami and making them really, really good. Probably said more about him than because they had won a championship the year before he took over.
That was one of the weirdest things in basketball history when they had their press conference, and Jerry West is there, and Pat Riley's there, and you got Jerry Buss, and he's saying, well, Jerry's going to coach some, and Pat's going to coach some, and Jerry West just says, Pat Riley's the coach. Right?
Yeah.
Jerry West said, no, he's the coach, and then it was
Is that how it really went, or is that how I saw it on Winning Time?
I think that actually
happened. That was pretty much
yes.
Because I got to take that with a little grain of salt when it's on Winning Time.
Yeah, Winning Time. But I mean, that was I remember seeing the press conference, and it was one of the weirdest because, you know, they showed it over and over. And to me, it just showed that, you know, that Dr. Buss and everybody else was on a lot of different pages at that time, you know, and I don't think they communicated.
Yeah, and Jerry West said, all right, that's enough of this. Look, this is how it's going to be.
This is the guy,
and I think it worked out.
Well, I know it worked out. Yeah,
he got a little carried away with just the whole Pat Riley-ness of it. I mean, I remember the movie.
He liked being Pat
Tequila
Riley.
Sunrise, where Kurt Russell was basically.
He was Pat Riley.
Yeah, the guy who wrote the movie, I forget who was, said, "This is Pat Riley. This is the character."
Kurt Russell was a good Pat Riley.
So that'll go to your head a little bit.
That'll do it. They're making movies about you.
Well, he can be Snake Plissken too. You know,
Jerry. Now you're in my area, my friend. That's excellent.
Well played.
Call me Snake.
Call me Snake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know. Anyway, but that's one of my favorite movies. You know,
he should have done Snake as Pat Riley. I think that would have been Pat Riley.
Was he in Wildcats with Goldie Hawn, or is that
I think so. I know Woody Harrelson was in that, and so was Wesley Snipes. I don't know that Kurt Russell was. I don't think he was.
Similar movie.
Yeah, he was in one with The Best of Times or something with Robin Williams, where they were high school football players.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, the best thing about the Snake Plissken though was when they dropped him into the Escape New York. You know, all the scumbags have been in there for years. You know, career criminals and lifers. They all knew who he was.
Yeah. It's all like he has Instagram.
Snake. That's Snake Plissken.
And
I was going to say, man, that's talking about being well known and.
We had a PR guy too.
Yeah,
and they all said they thought he was taller or something.
I thought you were taller. Yeah, Snake Plissken.
Yeah,
well, anyway, I got to tell you one story before I get to my R. I was thinking about that when Phantom made a great point about left-handers, and it's really true. I think we see it. Van, he's certainly Chris Mullin. And De'Aaron. I think De'Aaron gets to his spots easier because I think the left-hand thing is for real. I always remember coaching in junior college, and we were playing really a bad team. You know, they kind of a community college kind of concept, not a recruited team. And we was playing this team, and this kid didn't have a left hand. I mean, not only couldn't he use it, he didn't have one.
Oh, okay.
And so I always remember saying, don't let him go right.
Even then, you were a great coach. I'll tell you. I mean, you scout guys, you know exactly what they can do.
Do not let this guy go right. I didn't want to point out his disability.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but the very first play, the guy just goes right to the basket. I called a timeout, and I said, and I tried, and I wasn't going to yell at him. I said,
you have to yell.
Come here.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Do you notice anything? Anything unusual
in the
about
scouting
him?
report? Yeah.
See, that's being respectful of he's on the court. We're going to play him straight up to the best of our ability.
That's
honoring
the spirit of competition.
Yes.
I wasn't. I wanted to make sure that because he could go right.
Yeah.
Obviously, very well.
You weren't honoring him. You wanted to take advantage of him. You wanted to win the game.
Well, you
play to win the game.
You play to win the game.
Yeah, it's honoring him too.
Yeah, they're going to put a one-armed guy out there. You're going to defend him to the best of your ability.
I would suspect that that's the way he'd want it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yes,
that's exactly
of course.
right. I mean,
that would have been for me. Very quick timeout. Yeah. Was it like one of
those?
He's not
going to go.
It was pretty quick. Yeah. I mean, that make Mike.
I think the ref
some of Mike Brown's
timeouts
a little slow. That's like about the first
Guys,
time down.
We got to get something straight right now.
He's not doing a crossover. He's not crossing you over, buddy. Don't worry about it.
So anyway, there's that. But it came to mind.
Well, of course it would. Sure. I mean, I'm glad I was the springboard for that.
Yeah. And but my R is really one of the players that I enjoyed the most for a lot of reasons. Coached against him, got to know him a little bit. He had a great nickname. Played for the Bucks. Played for 4 or 5 teams out of LSU. By the name of Jerry Reynolds. Jerry Ice Reynolds. And we had pictures taken together. And
sure you did.
And I get his cards through the mail occasionally, card collectors want me to sign them, and I'm generally I think I'm always nice. I always send it back, say wrong Jerry Reynolds, and like that. And I've even gotten, since we're so close, I get calls from his bill collectors periodically.
Are you nice to them too?
Not as nice.
Not as nice. No, I didn't think so.
I said, you're talking to a 5'8" little white guy. I'm
the Caucasian comic.
Does that ring a bell to you? And he said, oh, okay. I said, I think you have someone else in mind that owes $30,000 on a new Mercedes or something,
Yeah, because your Mercedes is paid up.
Yeah,
we know that.
Yeah, it ain't new either.
I got to say, I thought you would be going with your all-time favorite. Jerry Reynolds is a great pick, obviously.
Fantastic.
I thought you'd be
Ice
going
is
with
a good nickname.
I thought you'd be going with the Big O.
The reason I didn't is because I assumed you thought I would.
Okay.
And I wanted to create a little, little deception there.
I got you.
And I did surprise you, didn't I?
Yes, but I was looking forward to you talking about.
Well, if I started on the Big O, I might be here till Friday.
Yeah.
Because that was my hero, and still, I think one of the thrills of my life getting to spend time with him a few times because of the coming to Sacramento on the Oscar Robertson Award and having lunch and talking to him. And
so let me ask you your opinion. Your hero, against his hero, 1-on-1. Connie Hawkins against Oscar Robertson.
If you'd have read the Connie Hawkins biography, as I did, Connie Hawkins tried to guard Oscar Robertson in the playgrounds when Oscar was at Cincinnati. He said, he crushed me. I couldn't handle him.
Really?
Oscar Robertson was the man.
Guard Oscar.
He's just too strong. I mean,
well, that's what Bill Russell always said, and Willis Reed same thing. That's what I always said. You can't guard Oscar.
Wow.
You just hope he misses. That's all.
I didn't think you'd roll over like that.
No, I mean, but it happened. I'm just saying that they were younger, obviously, at the time. But Oscar Robertson was like a god to them. I mean, he came to the playground and they just all taking turns trying to guard him, and nobody could. He just was that great. Yeah, and he was at Cincinnati at the time.
Yeah,
Connie Hawkins, Oscar Robertson, big Brian Cardinal guy.
Yeah.
Boy,
I thought you were the guy that Jerry was defending in community college with the one arm. Yeah.
Well, Brian, I was going to say that's probably one of the few mistakes Jerry West ever made when he's in Memphis.
Big deal, huh?
He gave Brian Cardinal like a $35-8 million deal.
So he thought about him like you did, yeah.
And I mean, to me, it's almost like the Bertans contract for that Washington originally signed after making a few threes one year. Mm-hmm. Couldn't lose him, and
made a couple.
Then ended up having to give him away, and the same kind of thing. It's like just don't.
I know.
Don't let the media. Don't let the media tell you can't lose this guy.
So fundamentally sound, Jer. Oh,
Brian Cardinal.
Yeah,
I can.
Well,
see
he
that
played bounce pass into the post.
Well, he was.
His entry pass was excellent.
and he should have. I mean, he deserved a career because he's a hard-nosed, tough kid, and you could have him on your team. But if you're counting on him be one of your key players, which they were when they signed him, it's like that ain't gonna work. Which Hubie Brown figured out pretty quick.
Smart guy right there.
Yeah, probably about the first practice he's going to West and say,
he's calling a timeout right away, just like you did. Yeah, timeout. Hold on.
Hey, Jerry, come over here a minute.
Can you show me that check again that you gave him? Yeah.
Before we go, we had a loose end towards the end of the last episode talking about most improved player, and we kind of
we
glossed.
It's
Lauri Markkanen, right? I mean, doesn't he?
I think. Yeah. And by the way, I want to apologize for mine because I really screwed up. I said Killian Hayes. Then I went and looked at his stats. Well, he's scoring more and he's playing more, but they're still bad.
Yeah.
So he ain't improved
enough. I thought
enough.
it was a nice pick.
Darren Fox.
I mean, it's the kind of thing that I'm too prone to do as I age. To just go off the eyes from watching a couple of games and not going to the, to the stats because he's a 39% two-point shooter and a 33% 3-point shooter, and assist turnover ratio is just In other words.
Those are Brian Cardinal numbers. Really.
Now, is that why they're playing they're playing the Bucks in Paris? They're playing the Bulls because of him, probably, right?
Well, he is from Paris.
Yeah.
I mean, from
that's
France.
a lot of clout for a guy to have, though, to take both teams over to play in Paris just because of you. I mean, that's.
I would think that would. I mean, that my guess is that has something to do with it. Probably would be 10th on the. Probably. I mean, I bet you Zach LaVine is more important over there than Killian Hayes.
Yeah, Zach LaVine, Zach LaVine, Bonjour, Zach LaVine. Shoot de toi.
Jerry says Killian Hayes is most improved, but he still sucks.
Well, the old Colin Cowherd thing, the things I was right on the I was right and then I was wrong. Well,
I was going with it.
I was wrong.
Yeah, you forgot Jokic, yeah.
I was just so shocked you said him because I know you haven't been a fan. I thought that was
No, I
thought you knew something we didn't know.
I think that's why I did it. I felt a little guilty from really kind of attacking him, although he deserved it. A 5th pick, and then
you attack a French guy, he's just going to find an American to defend him.
That's right. I surrender.
So it could become an international incident.
Yes,
absolutely could. Yeah,
because they did help us.
They did indeed.
The Revolutionary War and everything.
They did. Yeah. That's a nice statue.
We paid them, though.
Was that the last time they won?
Their record. Talk about playoff droughts.
We bailed them out a time or two, so they have that.
They helped out in WW2, though. I mean, come on.
They did. Come
on, Jared.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander gets a lot of mention, but he was already good. I know he's better, but to me he was already good.
Yeah, he's maybe jumped up a notch to a real legitimate star, but he was really, really good. I mean, there's so many guys when you kind of look through teams and find, guys that, I'd say a guy like Grayson Allen, he's a way better player than people thought he was going to be in the NBA, and he's gotten a little better about every year.
Nobody's ever going to vote for him for something. Nobody's ever going to vote for Grayson Allen for anything.
I got a kick out of watching him. Anyway, that's going to do it for the Old-Fashioned 3. Thanks for watching. We're back with you on Tuesday.
See you on Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.
Thank you for joining the Old-Fashioned 3 on Stones Radio Networks. To stay updated on the show, like and subscribe on YouTube, and all shows are available for download on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, and of course at stonesradionetworks.com. Follow the show and the gents on Twitter at OL, Fashion, and the number 3, at Phantom Radio 60, and at Whitey Gleason. This has been a production of Stones Radio Networks.